Get off my hand!
Tomatoes!
All right. Well, we're back at it.
All right, here we go. Wolftick Nation with the Wolftick Podcast.
You need a mic stand bad.
I know.
We have them.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway. Today I think I'm going to get to what I wanted to get to the other day.
Which is?
What is a budget bike anyway?
What's a budget bike?
Yeah, what is a budget bike?
We got about 60 of them. I can show you.
Yeah, but, well, no. We've got about 50-something. A few of our bikes aren't. See, that's just it. It depends what you call a budget bike.
Yeah, I would say all of our bikes, except for 2, maybe 3, are all considered budget. And
considered budget, why?
Price. I would say we have...
So strictly price, you're saying. Not value, not price, not... Like it's just straight up price.
Yeah, but it's difficult too because everybody has a different budget. You know what I'm saying? Like some people can afford a $3,000 bike and may think that's budget. You know,
hence the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a budget bike. Let's talk about price, okay? Not upgrades or anything like that. I think.
Well, let's talk. When we first started the channel, let's talk about that.
Okay.
And my job, as a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people know or not. Some people do. My job is the budgeting and the numbers, because you're not a numbers guy.
Not numbers guy or directions guy.
No. So I said, okay, I kept telling you, you'd go, what about this? What about that? I'm like, well, how much is it? And the first thing, you were more concerned with, does it have disc brakes? You were like obsessive with disc brakes and
Absolutely.
stuff. Does it have this, that? And my thing is, well, how much is it? Because my first question is, how much is it? Your first question is, does it have this or that? Which is perfect for our roles and what we do. But I told you when we first started, a maximum for a hardtail. Now, this has been a few years ago now. The maximum for a hardtail to be considered budget, in my opinion, from just the majority of what people would consider, I think, budget, is $400.
That's pretty budget. That's pretty cheap.
Well, yeah, but I think it's changed because the value of the dollar's changed too. But now I don't think it's true. I think now a budget bike is more probably either 5, closer to 6. Maybe.
Yeah, I would agree. But they do come, like you said, not only has the dollar changed, but also the components have changed. And, well,
a lot has changed, but, and then the Royce Union kind of.
Oh, you're throwing bikes in there already.
Yeah, the Royce Union sort of, look, people don't, our reactions to opening that bike was genuine in the fact that, first of all, we didn't really look much into what we had ordered.
I didn't even know what
no, you
I didn't even know anything
idea.
about it. I didn't even know what size it was.
All I knew is it was sized and I got small. Okay. I knew it had something to it. I don't know what it was. I think it was, I don't even know if I knew it had anything. I think it was just the price was super cheap. And, $200 and something. And I'm like, well, hell, a small frame, 29er small. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's sign me up for a sized frame at less than $300.
Yeah, you're the purchaser on that. That was a drunken eBay all day.
Oh, yeah. Well, and with the help of people bringing it to my attention. So anyway, but what I'm getting at, that messed me up and it kind of reset things for me. But before that bike, I thought $500 to almost $600 maybe for a hardtail. It used to be $400. And then I always said $400 for a hardtail, $800 for full suspension, which is beyond budget for full suspension. But still, this was back when we started and we weren't going to be spending a lot of $800 bikes. We didn't have the money for it. And then $12 for e-bike. If we were going to buy e-bikes, which we weren't really going to be much into buying e-bikes anyway, but that would be the cutoff that we'd want. It wasn't just us purchasing them. I didn't really want a lot of companies. I knew companies eventually would send us stuff, and I didn't want them to send us a whole bunch of bikes that were over that by a lot because I felt like it'd be out of touch with our audience. And I think some of that has rang true, but that changed because I think it was kind of like, well, our audience isn't much into e-bikes anyway, and the people that are into e-bikes, budget e-bikes are more than, budget e-bikes are anywhere up to, $2,000 or so-ish, $1,500 and less sometimes. So there was that to contend with. So it's, I know it's subjective and it depends on the person for the word budget, but the culture is formed out of compromise. I think it's what you can afford without feeling guilty and the average person, you know, and I think that's what creates the budget segment.
Most of those people, I don't know. I think that they're going to go to Dick's and maybe check out a GT Aggressor Pro. You know,
Who is?
the people that don't, not the average people. Maybe it's a little bit above average. I don't know. Maybe have some riding experience or something like that. You know that.
I think I talked about who the GT's for, and the last time I bought a GT, the red one,
Yeah.
orange, whatever color, the in between the two. It's not. I don't think that's where the person. I mean, someone that's doing research might decide to go there, but I think that's the person that's getting back into it that maybe used to be into it as a youngster or whatever. I don't think that's the new. Like, you wouldn't have been so into it if I wouldn't had. I think we both really like the GT, but we're both on a budget that consists of 3 people putting in for it.
So are you bringing up the GT saying that that's a budget bike or just a more? I'm bringing it up because I think that's more than an average guy's bike.
Well, but to me, I think it's the epitome. I think it's the epitome. In pops, I think it's the epitome of budget bikes right now. I think it's the epitome. I think it's not the epitome. It's more it's the flagship. It's like the known and it's like it defines our channel in a way, but not just because it was the first bike, but it's because to me, I think that's before this culture really was a thing. And I know there's a few people that can take some credit on that, but I know there's a lot of credit we can take too on that. Before it was really a thing, I think that was like before gravel bikes were a thing, hybrids or whatever was what created that whole genre. And I think the GT was the catalyst to as far as just the bikes go, because it would put it on sale, and the price matters, and the sale price matters, and all that. As much as you don't want to talk about that, the GT would go on sale for like $200 and something, $300 every now and then. And when it goes down that low, it's like, damn, a GT for that cheap, and like.
Yeah, the first thing you think of now is going to be the name, you know, and then so GT Aggressor Pro, say $500. See, that's crazy cheap. But like as we talked about earlier, components have changed so much, and bikes are coming with so much more now.
Wait. You just said GT Aggressor Pro 500. That's cheap? No, it's not.
I think it is now.
That?
Yeah,
no.
I think 500. Not. I'm not saying for the bike. I'm just saying for a budget bike, I think $500 is cheap.
See, I think the problem is we're looking at this 2 different ways.
Yeah, I guess we are.
You're wanting to go like, don't get into this price, don't get into this net. But I think that's where me and you differ greatly. You are always going to obsess. You're definitely the younger generation that's going to obsess over the features or obsess over just what you think about it, what you feel about it, and you're going to dig in on it. And my thing is, it's always going to be relative to the price. Because the GT at $500, I don't like it.
Oh, I think it's overpriced.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think when they took it down to $299, I think that's great.
There's not one thing about the GT Aggressor Pro, not one thing that gets me excited and goes, "Hey, it does have this." It doesn't have any of this
features.
Yeah, as far as features are concerned.
There's one thing gets me excited about the GT.
Well, I mean,
Trust in the frame.
The name and the frame, that's what it is. I mean, you've got a Suntour nasty fork up front that you can just go ahead. It's a boat anchor. It's a 3x. You got a 7-speed. Now it does have a free hub or 8-speed. So it's a 3x8. It does have a free hub, so there is that. You know, I mean, that's $100 rear wheel right there. But other than the free wheel,
that's why at $300 that was a hell of a bike at $300.
Yeah. So other than the free hub and the frame, I mean, what do you got? You have an aluminum bar.
But but 400 has always been the cutoff.
Yeah.
400 is always been the cutoff for having that free hub. You know what I'm saying? Like 400 was it.
Yeah.
When what was it? What came out? Was it the Travail? What came out that I got all upset when you had the rant and I took down and all that?
Oh, it was a Travail. Yeah.
Yeah. So when that came out,
Travail was supposed to have hydraulic brakes.
It was was it the Travail for sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I've had so many bikes. So the Travail. Okay. There was a rant video we had put up. I went off and just went nuts about how I felt it was just it was I felt like they had really pushed that this bike was going to be like, without saying this is going to, they weren't going, oh, this is the greatest budget bike ever, because obviously they don't want to look at it like that anyway. They don't want people to go, oh, what's a budget bike? I don't want that.
What was that bike?
But it was
$379.
No, it's $400, $399. It's $400.
$399. Okay.
But $398, whatever. But it was supposed to have hydraulic brakes, 10 speed,
one by,
tapered, and then
internal routing for the seat post
and hydraulic brakes.
Yeah, hydraulic brakes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What did I say at first? Did I say hydraulic brakes? Anyway, but yeah, so it was supposed to be like it was going to be everything to get started and then start upgrading. And it was going to be like the flagship of budget bikes. Yeah,
like that was going to be the next big thing as far as Walmart and everybody, yeah.
Instead, it had horrible brakes or really bad mechanical brakes. And some people say they're fine. I don't. I think they're bad. I don't think they're good brakes at all. But I've never been a big fan of just bashing anything. I've never been a fan. I like to joke and make fun of how people get stuck and get caught up in getting convinced that the marketing on stuff and how people get suckered into thinking if you're not tubeless, you're not really riding, or if you don't have a dropper, you don't know what you're doing, or that stuff cracks me up because it's all just
tapered
all
head
BS.
Tube, yeah,
it's all BS. Yeah, tapered head tubes. Tapered head tube is probably the worst one because everybody is so conditioned to think if it's not tapered, it's a horrible frame. And it's like, dude,
old geometry.
Which is not always true. But even so, you have so many options these days. You got slacker headsets, and you can make it tapered, and all. It's just so narrow minded, but it's comical. It's funny.
How much do we pay for the Royce Union?
$252, I think.
Okay. Do you think that there's a better budget bike out there than the Royce Union?
At $252? No.
Okay.
I mean, not for the money.
Do you think that there's a better framed bike out there or a better deal that somebody can get and build up themselves to? Not that it's going to be cheaper than the Royce Union.
Not that price. If you want to know, do I think that's the best budget bike? No.
Okay. So you don't think that the Royce Union is the best budget bike?
No.
$252.
I think for the price brakes, it is.
Freewheel.
Yeah.
What was the 2x, right?
No, it's a free hub. So you keep doing the freewheel thing. I mean, got me all messed up in the episode too. Mm-hmm. If for $250, there's nothing touches it at $250. Nothing comes close at $250. Mm-hmm. But if you take that bike up to $400, then we have a conversation to be had about is it Travail and stuff like that. That versus a Travail at $400 is a conversation. At $250, it's not a conversation. Not only that, but at $250, I'm gonna buy that bike at $250 if it's me. I'm gonna put one of these forks that have been on sale lately that are like a steel.
RockShox's been.
We're talking $200 and something for $500-$600 forks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna put that on the bike, and then it's gonna be right around what a Travail would be, and you already have a bike that has a fork that's a really high level fork.
Yeah, price wise, yeah.
And headset and course and all. And then I have hydraulic brakes, and I have a 2x, which are not huge on, but I don't have a problem with that too much. I could eventually change it if I want. On that one, I think you could just take a chain ring off if you want, and then take the
I think you can. Yeah, you'd have that in a 100 millimeter stem, or 200 millimeter stem.
Whatever.
But it was comfortable. It's a comfortable bike.
Is there any kind of bikes from a bike shop or something that can compete with budget bikes that we've been talking about?
Anything now as far as a bike shop or anything like that's concerned, I don't think that anything can compete. I mean, of course, you got all the commission bikes and stuff like that, but I think we saw, what is the North Rock or Rock, whatever Rock one's called? What are they called?
Rocky Mountain?
Yeah. What are those? How much are those?
It's expensive.
I know Hot Springs, they carry them in Hot Springs, but I remember looking at
they used to. I don't know if they still do.
I think they have a couple of frames left that didn't sell, or, bikes that didn't sell, but I remember looking at them and being a little disappointed with the overall price.
Yeah, I think they were like $1,200 or something.
Okay. Yeah,
and they're hard to tell.
That's a little much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, considering it probably comes with the same stuff that the Royce Union does. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the least expensive bike shop bike that I can remember, well, it's been a while now. I think it used to be $599, and that was not good. It was a Trek Marlin
6 or something. That had a free wheel.
Yeah, free
right?
wheel.
Yeah,
they still do. They still have it. I think it's like $700.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's like, damn.
And when you can get, what I mean is that's crazy. But people are going to go, oh, well, it's a Trek. But what I'm saying is you can go to freaking Walmart and get an Axum. I would ride an Axum, over a lot of stuff.
Well, what's funny is people's mentality is if they can, and I know why they get confused about this, but in their minds they go, well, I could go to a bike shop and get a bike for, say, $1,000, right? We'll go $1,000. And what's funny is I don't think they realize, and they're still going to have to, that bike is going to be marginal. It might have a few things that might be marginally better than a $400 or $500 bike from Walmart. Marginal though, like we're talking. If anything, some things aren't even going to be as good. Well, give me an example. Well, the free-wheel versus free hub. Okay, yeah. So you're saying you go to a bike shop and buy a $700 something bike, right? We'll go with that. You're stuck if you want to change out your group set. You're limited unless you change your rear wheel out. No one's going to lace and put a new hub and stuff that's not experienced. Let's not get into that.
And like I said, that's about $100 already.
I think
just
it's
for
a
your
little
rear
more,
wheel.
but yeah, let's say
you used to be able to find about 89, 100, 110, somewhere around there. So let's just say $100. You get $100 right there just for a rear wheel. That's not even a group set.
Yeah, just the rear wheel. Okay, but they don't realize it's going to be the same kind of junk fork. So if you want to, you're going to have to upgrade either one. Okay,
so it's another $200,
and then it's going to be like there's nothing on that bike. The only thing that bike's going to have is a name on it. Other than that, you're paying what on that bike is good or better than say an Axum, since you brought Axum up. What's good or better on that? A $500 Axum has a dropper post.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, look, you're talking about, say you pay $850 for the bike. Okay. You put a $850
for
$750.
Okay, so yeah, put
$750 bike at a bike shop. Okay. You have to get a new rear wheel because it's got a free wheel.
This is when you start to upgrade it.
Yeah, so that's $850
before you even get going.
Then you go, hey, I want to go ahead
and it might have better tires. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, so, you want to go, hey, let me put a $200 fork on this. I found the fork. It's a budget fork. It fits with my quick release wheel. You're looking at $1,050, right? And then you don't even have a group set yet. Yeah. And a group set that's decent right these days is going to be about $225 to $250. That's $1,300 already into a bike shop bike that you've put, I mean, that's...
Now, here's the flip side. Here's the argument. See, people make that argument all the time and they're wrong, but they're thinking the name. They go, "Oh, when you resell it, I have news for you. You're not going to get your money back out because it says Trek on it. You're not going to get your money back on it." So they're looking at these bikes and they're seeing $12,000 bikes in a Trek store or whatever, right? But this is where it makes sense. Okay, so you don't go into a bike shop and buy the cheapest bike they have and start upgrading it. You go to Walmart and buy that bike. Well, hang on. Don't get me sidetracked. When you go into a bike shop, this is where the bike shop really comes in. When you go into a bike shop and you want a bike to fit you perfectly, they're going to help you with that. And they're going to have bikes to look at and to sit on. When you want that follow-up service, whenever you buy something, you want to go back and take it to them and they help you out with it. And if you want all of that, you go to a bike shop. Or if you're past buying a real cheap beginner bike and you don't want to put any money into it, or you're putting a little bit of money into it and you kind of hit a point, you're better off going into a bike shop. If you're not into tinkering, you're better off going to a bike shop and buy a mid-level bike. That's where a bike shop really has its place. It's not that the bike shop's got to have that cheap bike to get some people in there. Bikes starting at $600, $700, $800. They got to have those. So it's just like a car lot. All the car companies have their loss leaders. They have their
we got this car here, but for $200 more.
Exactly. And you go, and then another $200, and then another $200, and next thing you know, you've got someone that came in looking at an $800 bike is now looking at an $1,800 bike.
And then that's the guy that rides around the parking lot all day.
Well, no, that's the guy. No, the guy that does that's the guy that's already been through that bike and tried to ride. Figured out that he'll never be a great rider, but what he can be is a guy that has the purchase power to go buy the $12,000, $16,000 bike. unload it right around the parking lot, conversate. When everyone's gone, load it back up and leave. That's what that guy is. But that's different. What's not natural is this. This is what the older people like. I'm not going to name names, but older people in the bike business sometimes get scared of channels like ours, and they shouldn't, because they just think, oh, they're just steering the body towards this crap.
Yeah, all they want you to do is buy crap. It's like,
well, and I think this is what no one does. Nobody that I know of goes, I want to look at getting into mountain biking. Goes to Walmart, buys a bike, rides it, goes, I'm going to tinker with this. Tries to tune it up, goes, I'm gonna buy a better fork, does all that, and then goes, oh, I think I'm better than this. I want a better bike, right? So I'm gonna buy another nothing
exactly
bike.
Right.
That what they do is they always progress into going to a bike shop or something.
Everybody that watches our channel does. And what's great is the ones that still continue to watch our channel because that's where they started, and it's like like loyal, like.
Some people do go back to it, but they go back to it after they have their bike they really wanted. The $3,000 bike from a bike shop now, they love riding it. It's fun, but they still come back and they want that budget because they miss that feeling of, wow, that was kind of fun, that hunt.
Yeah, there's no telling how many people comment and go, hey, man, I just wanted you to know I love your guys' channel. I started out there. Now I've got this crazy bike. And then just this summer, I picked up me a build. I'm going to build over the winter, and it's a budget Schwinn, boundary.
Yeah, just for fun.
Stuff like that.
And they have, like Steve, we can name names all day, but like he's a prime example of someone I think of all the time that went from real budget bike stuff to riding. Now he has really nice bikes and stuff, but he's still, I don't know if he still has a budget bike or anything, but he still enjoys the channel. He still enjoys the budget idea and all that. But it's like, no one's gonna be riding a bike shop bike and go, I'm getting out of this and I'm buying a Walmart bike and I'm never going back to a bike shop. That doesn't happen.
No, but the thing that's great is the people that do the opposite of that start like I got a bunch of stuff I want to say, but the people that start with a Walmart bike or an Academy bike or whatever, just a budget bike, basically, what we're saying, $800, $700 and below. What's great about that is not only do you get to save a little bit of money, learn your bike, learn what parts are over time, but when it comes time to buy a more expensive bike and you feel like you've graduated to the next level, you will know how to ride a bike, how to control your own body, how to, the chances. Maybe. I mean, there's so many people that jump into things too fast and don't know anything. There's a lot of people out the bike trails that are like that, just that don't know how to ride their bike. And it's
no, I disagree. I would say not a lot. I'd say a majority.
These guys, women are riding these bikes that are way above their heads, and it's like I'll be like riding behind one of them or see one of them, and just kind of take it in and be like, dude, this guy doesn't know how to ride this thing. Yeah. He's got
he knows how to spend $8,000, but he doesn't know how to ride it. Yeah.
He's got all the gear and the mouthpiece. He's got everything.
Yeah.
Which, safety
that would
is
be
great.
me.
But he's got everything. Well, it's basically me next time. He's got everything you can imagine, or she's got everything you can imagine. And they can't ride their bike for crap. Yeah. And it's like, I think a big part of that.
It's fine. Okay. It's fine. It's not like we're knocking on them.
No. What's great is they're out there riding, but still.
And that's the main thing. But the problem is sometimes people have this mentality where if you can't go buy the $8,000 bike, you shouldn't even go out and ride it. That's what we're against. We're against that mentality.
Yeah. It's like rock what you got. If you're out there on the trails, great. But
bring a $50 hoopty.
Yeah.
But get out there.
But it's like, man, I just want people to... I would like for people to start with a budget build, or a budget bike, and just learn it.
I want people to start with whatever they can afford and feel good about, and get out there and ride, and they don't have hesitation about getting out there and riding. Now, if that means they can go out and spend $1,800 on a decent bike shop bike, they can do that.
Yeah,
and the reason why I say that is because that way they'll have the help getting into it.
Overall, $700 is the perfect sweet spot for a budget bike. Now, in your
to you, a budget hardtail is $700.
Yeah, and see what's funny is I don't know. I can't come up with one bike that we have that's a $700 hardtail.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm saying that, but then I might be eating my own words because I keep going. Okay, this bike, I'm gonna write it down. This bike, but every one of them is cheaper than that. So let me rephrase. Until we upgrade it. I'm going to say that a budget bike, this is funny, $500 or less. That's the end. That's what I'm saying now.
Okay. Well, I think budget hardtail is anywhere from $500 to $600. It's really hard to say. It depends on what it has. You can justify it at $600 with the right setup.
Yeah.
But $500 is kind of the cutoff for the top budget normally, because like the Axum DP, good example. Everything else is usually less than that anyway. And then the budget full suspension, I guess, even though we don't have any experience with them except for one bike, I guess Polygon, I think they used to make that Siskiyou D5 or whatever. They
still do. And sometimes it goes on sale for like $800.
$899, I think.
Yeah.
But if they'd send us one without any BS, just send us a bike and let us review it.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get out of here, guys, I ask that you please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Let us know what you think in the comments. We might not follow it up.
Yeah, we might not follow it up, but I want to know in the comments, what do you guys think is budget? What is a budget price?
We're just curious to know what you guys think. Yeah. I know it's relative, but I'd just like to know.
Yeah, maybe some features that you'd like to see on the budget bike. But all right, guys, Wolftick Nation, me and Wolfman, another podcast out of the way. We are going to get out of here. Anything else you want to say before we go? Patrons, thank you guys so much.
Well, hopefully we'll continue to try to improve this.
Yeah.
I want to make it sound better. I'd like to eventually get a better setup and all that.
Yeah, we'll get a better setup.
But this is fun to
let us know what you guys think.
Something to do while you're hurt for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to continue even afterwards, probably.
Yeah. But all right, Wolftick Nation, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah.